Today on the show, we're diving into the world of economic indicators. These are the numbers that tell us how the economy is doing, things like GDP, unemployment rates, and consumer confidence. But what do these indicators really mean? How are they calculated? And how should we interpret them? We'll break it all down for you with the help of some experts to make sense of the numbers that shape our world. Broncos Country, get your hearts ready because the bombshell I'm about to drop here is going to shake everyone up. You know that when Sean Payton opens his mouth about injuries, the entire Denver Broncos family stops everything to listen. And this time, my friends, the news about Nate Adkins is going to surprise each and every one of you. Everyone had that nervous feeling in their stomach, thinking our tight end was going straight to the short-term injured list. But wait, because what happened behind the scenes is going to completely change the landscape of our season. And I'm going to tell you every detail of this twist that nobody expected. Family, the decision that Sean Payton made about Adkins' future, could be the difference between an average season and a special season. You're not going to believe what I discovered. Family, let's get straight to what matters. Sean Payton just made a statement that made everyone breathe a sigh of relief here. At the Broncos training complex, our tight end Nate Adkins, who suffered that ankle injury during the joint practice with the 49ers, will probably escape the short-term injured list. You remember the scare we had when we found out about Adkins' injury, right? The guy hurt his ankle and needed surgery called a tightrope procedure. At the time, everyone thought, that's it, there goes our tight end for the start of the season. But Sean Payton, that strategist we know and respect, had other plans up his sleeve. The coach was clear as water. I can't guarantee he'll be medically ready for Week 1, but close enough that we'll probably keep him on the active roster. Broncos Country, do you realize what this means? It means our organization believes so much in Adkins' potential that they'd rather hold a spot on the 53-man roster than put him on the injured list. This is a decision that few coaches would have the courage to make. Come on, Broncos Country, let's coolly analyze what this decision means for our tactical scheme. A tight end of Nate Adkins' quality isn't just another player on the field. He's a versatile weapon that can revolutionize our offense. First, let's talk about versatility. Adkins can act as an additional blocker on the offensive line when we need to protect our quarterback on longer passing plays. At the same time, he has sure hands and the speed necessary to be a reliable option in the passing game. And look at the math that makes all the difference. If Adkins went to the short-term injured list, he'd have to stay out for at least 4 games. That would mean a return only in Week 5 at the earliest. But with this bold decision by Payton, we're talking about a possible return as early as Week 2 or Week 3. Folks, can you imagine the impact this has on our offensive preparation? Having a player of Adkins' caliber available 2 or 3 weeks earlier could be the difference between starting the season stumbling or taking off right away. Sean Payton knows the value of every position on the field. He knows that in modern football, you need players who can perform multiple functions. Adkins is exactly that type of athlete. He can block like an offensive lineman when necessary. He can run routes like a wide receiver, and he can even be used in special formations. Now let's talk about the technical part of the injury and recovery, because this is fundamental to understanding why Sean Payton is so confident in the decision. The tightrope surgery that Adkins had is considered one of the most modern techniques for treating ankle injuries. Basically, doctors use a kind of synthetic rope to stabilize the joint. It's a procedure that allows for faster recovery compared to other ankle surgeries. Broncos Country, you know that our medical department is one of the most respected in the NFL. When they give the green light to keep a player on the active roster even with a recent injury, it's because they have very concrete data about the recovery. The fact that Sean Payton specifically mentioned Weeks 2 and 3 as possible return dates shows they have a well-defined timeline. It's not guesswork, it's not hope, it's planning based on medical evidence. And there's another important factor, Adkins' age and physical conditioning. He's in his 3rd season, meaning he's still a young athlete at the peak of his recovery. Capacity. Players in this age range tend to recover more quickly from injuries than older veterans. Family. Now let's talk about the puzzle that is assembling a 53-man roster in the NFL. Every spot is precious. Every decision can impact the entire season. Keeping Adkins on the active roster means Sean Payton is betting big on the player's recovery. But it also means some other athlete might not get a spot on the final roster. That's the cruel reality of professional football. Payton's statement was very revealing. He's too good a player for us. We're going to need him. When your coach talks that way about an athlete, it's because he really sees something special in that guy. It's not just talk for the press, it's genuine recognition of the player's value. Broncos Country, can you feel the pressure this puts on Adkins? On one hand, it's incredible to know the organization believes in you that much. On the other, it's enormous responsibility. He knows he needs to justify this confidence on the field. And there's the psychological aspect too. Imagine the impact this decision has in the locker room. Other players see that the organization is willing to take risks for someone they consider valuable. This sends a clear message. Work hard, be dedicated, and we'll be loyal to you. But there's also the other side of the coin. Some might question whether it's worth occupying a roster spot with a player who might not be available for Week 1. It's a legitimate debate and shows why decisions like this separate ordinary coaches from exceptional ones. And there, Denver. Broncos family, if you're enjoying these detailed analyses about our team, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because here you stay on top of everything happening in Broncos Country before anywhere else. Folks, let's put this situation in perspective. In the NFL, decisions like Sean Payton's are relatively rare. Most coaches prefer to play it safe. Injured. Player goes to the injured list, period. But great coaches, those who make a difference, sometimes need to make risky decisions. Remember that Payton is the same guy who had the courage to make controversial choices throughout his career that yielded great results. The tight end position has become increasingly important in the modern NFL. It's no longer that player who just blocks or just catches short passes in the middle of the field. Tight ends nowadays are true offensive weapons. They can run deep routes. They can be used in motion. They can even be placed in the backfield as running backs in special formations. Nate Adkins represents exactly this evolution of the position. He has the physique to be an effective blocker, but also has the athletic skills to be a threat in the passing game. That's why Sean Payton values his presence on the roster so much. Broncos Country, when you watch the games this season, pay attention to how Adkins is used when he returns. You'll see that he's not just another tight end. He's a strategic piece that can appear in various different formations. Now let's talk about an issue that few analysts address, the impact this decision has on the other tight ends on the roster. Keeping Adkins means there are fewer spots available for other players at the position who are fighting for a place on the team. This creates an interesting dynamic in the group. Everyone knows Adkins has a guaranteed spot, so the competition is among the others. On one hand, this can motivate the other guys to work even harder to impress. On the other, it can create some tension in the locker room. It's up to Sean Payton and his coaching staff to manage these dynamics. But there's another positive aspect. Having an experienced player like Adkins in the group, even if temporarily injured, can help in developing the younger ones. He can share knowledge, help with video studies, contribute even without being on the field, and we can't forget the leadership aspect. Players who have gone through adversities like injuries often become natural leaders in the locker room. The experience of recovering from an injury and coming back strong can be inspiring for the entire team. Family, I'll leave you with some reflections about what we can expect going forward. If Adkins really manages to return in Week 2 or 3, this will give Sean Payton incredible flexibility when putting together the game plan. Having one more reliable option in the offense always opens tactical possibilities. But we also need to be realistic. Injury recovery isn't an exact science. Even with all the organization's confidence, there's still the risk of complications, or the return taking longer than expected. What's clear is that Sean Payton is thinking long-term. He's not just looking at the first games of the season. He's building a team to compete for 17 weeks and, who knows, in the playoffs. So, Broncos Country, what do you think of this bold decision by Sean Payton? Do you believe keeping Nate Adkins on the active roster is the right move, or do you think it would be safer to put him on the injured list and guarantee a spot for another player? Leave your opinion down here in the comments, because I want to know what each of you thinks. And don't forget, like the video, share it with those friends who are also part of the Denver Broncos family. And we'll see you in the next video with more hot news about our team. Broncos Country, see you later. And bring on this season, go Broncos!